Hello, everybody. Eddie Bluff from SiteSeeker, your partner for online success. The countdown is on, man. 21 days and counting to the biggest social media event to hit the Northeast. And of course, I'm talking about BizBuzz Social Media Conference coming up at the Holiday Inn Convention Center in Syracuse, New York, Tuesday, November 1st. It's an all-day event. Doors open at 8. They close at 7 p.m. And if you want to know how to use social media, how to better engage your audience, and how to help your business, this is a must-see event. We've got over 30 professional expert panelists and speakers, and I happen to have the great pleasure to introduce you today and to talk to Rick Dragon. Rick is an exhibiting artist. He's a writer. He's an author. He's an author of the Dragon Search Manual of Online Marketing, which I believe is coming out this coming December. He's got another one in the works called Social Marketology. He's a social marketing strategist. He's a CEO and co-founder of Dragon Search with offices in New York and in Kingston, New York. And what really appeals to me is he's a drummer. And I'm going to try to get him to agree to bring his kit with him to Syracuse, and I'll bring my six string. But that aside, we'll take that offline. How are you, Rick?
Fine, thank you, Eddie.
Yeah, good to see you, man. Are you excited about BizBuzz?
I certainly am.
Please share with us. What are you going to be talking about?
Well, I have the pleasure of talking about the social media process. I think the title has something to do with herding cats. And it is somewhat herding cats. You know, social media is still somewhat a new endeavor. I've been in online marketing for 15 years, and I'm pretty sure that 4 years ago, we weren't really even speaking in terms of, social media.
Right.
We were talking about blogs.
Yeah.
We were barely talking about, MySpace just really wasn't a viable place for businesses at the time. And then all of a sudden, the entire thing just really took off. And I was lucky because our organization was smack dab in the middle of that. We were helping marketers connect with bloggers. And so we did get involved with that. The other thing that I was very lucky about is that because for the previous 10 years, I had a web development, application development business, that we were very process oriented.
Right.
So when social came along, our first instinct was, well, how do we make a process out of this? Not to take the humanity out of it, but to make it a repeatable and provable endeavor that businesses could actually benefit from. So, in fact, what I'm going to be talking about in Syracuse at BizBuzz is the process in social media marketing.
Is this stuff that you're going to, is this part of what went into your books, Rick?
The new book, Social Marketology, coming out in the summer next year with McGraw-Hill, is in fact about social media marketing process.
Nice. So talk to me. Go ahead.
When you look at the landscape of the hundreds and hundreds of books out there, many of them fabulous books on social media marketing, the part of process hasn't really been covered yet.
What got you into social media, Rick? Was it just a natural progression within your business, like it is within ours, or is it something that you gravitate towards personally as well?
Well, I remember a few years back talking to one of my then partners about what made people in our business really work well or not. And the defining factor that we saw of people in, for instance, online marketing and web development was that they had such a passion for the technology, the platforms, and you didn't have to be told to go home and study this stuff. You were going to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning playing with it.
Right.
And I confess that I'm given to a little bit of cabin fever in the Catskills and a little bit of what my friend Liz Strauss calls saturation learning, which is where I just like to get in and get into things. And social media just really struck a lot of chords with me.
If you had to pick one platform to the end of time that you would live and breathe with, what would it be and why?
Well, I'm very enamored of Twitter. And the reason that I am is that the inherent limitations of Twitter, the 140 characters, forces people to be a little more imaginative. Whereas, of course, with all of the other platforms, where you can throw things up all day long, and it can just get overkill. But again, Twitter, those limitations actually, to me, make it a golden age of communication around that.
Sure. Hey, you're in business and you deal with a lot of businesses and you help them out with with social media and guidance and consulting and search engine marketing, consultant and SEO, but specific to social media, when you look at the clients that are engaging and engaging well and making it work for them, what do you see some common elements that are there with the success versus those with the folks that just don't completely use it to its complete capacity?
Well, I mean, in all fairness, yes, there's some wonderful organizations out there that have really gone on and done great work, but the reality of it is what we call social media and social media marketing isn't just one thing. You know, we could probably take out our pencils and draw circles around maybe 6 to 10 different major endeavors that you can do that fit in there. So, for instance, one client may come to me and we may talk primarily about an influencer outreach program. Let's connect with the influencers in this industry and make a difference with them and really engage with them. And that is one type of social media marketing. Another type of social media marketing might be really more about consumer outreach and creating community. Very different endeavors, right?
Yeah.
So, one thing is, with one company, let's say a B2B, we might be more focused on that influencer work. It's a little bit less visible. It's not something that you see at a big level. It's not like the Old Spice campaign that William Kennedy did, but they've been very, very powerful.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, what's your best advice for businesses? Any parting thoughts?
Well, I would say that probably one of the most important things is that businesses do get involved with this. And it's not something that you can just pay an intern to do. That's not treating it with very much respect that the media must do. Take it real seriously. If you hire somebody to manage your social media and your overall marketing, they can't be an intern. They've got to be serious. They've got to be a manager. And they've got to understand the business case. They've got to understand underlying metrics that you're going to need to drive your business. But the whole thing has to be taken seriously. And I've got a real strong feeling, if I pull out my crystal ball and polish it up a bit, that the businesses that don't engage in social media are going to be really challenged when it comes to dealing with the businesses that have gotten involved.
Boy, I couldn't agree with that more. And, I think businesses have finally started to realize that social does play a part in business. But I really think, and I want to get your final thoughts on this before we close it, I think that once the search engines started to admit that they're considering social media when they look at returning search results, if that didn't accelerate the maturation of social media as playing a part in the total internet marketing plan and focus, I don't know what did.
Well, you're 100% right there. And what's interesting, of course, when Google first started, they sort of formed Google on the notion of academic citations. If I wrote a paper, the more papers that were linking back to my paper sort of made this seem like it was important. And Google has always paid a lot of attention to that sort of linking or that citation, if you will. And the social media is just, lit a firecracker underneath the chair of this whole thing.
Amen. Hey, Rick, thanks so much. Congratulations on the books. I'm looking forward to seeing you in just 21 days. Folks, if you haven't registered yet, BizBuzzSocialMediaConference.com coming up in Syracuse, New York, November 21st. That's a Tuesday. It's all day, so block off the whole day. Come on out, learn. You're going to meet a lot of great people, and you're going to take away stuff you can use, I promise you, and we'll see you soon.